How's it going, everybody? This is Neil Constantino, and today we'll be talking about flight scenario number three. So, the scenario we are provided with is you are a student working on your commercial. While on a cross country flight, you discover time en route between two checkpoints is significantly longer than the time originally calculated. By noticing this discrepancy, you recognize a change. Based on insight, cross country flying experience, and knowledge, discuss what could be the cause of the estimated time between checkpoints and actual time between checkpoints. Discuss all possible issues and solutions. So, to me, I think the primary suspect of this problem that we're having with time en route being longer than what we originally calculated is weather. More specifically, an increase in headwind. And increase in headwind will decrease our ground speed. It will increase fuel consumption, and it will take us longer to get to our destination because of the increase in headwind. So with this scenario, we now have to ask ourselves, what do we do? What do we do in this situation? Well, during our training, we learned a lot of acronyms to help us learn easier with stuff, and one of these acronyms is the DECIDE model. The DECIDE model is basically just another acronym that helps us makes better decisions when we need them as pilots. So the first letter in the DECIDE model is D as in Delta. We need to detect the problem. So we know that the problem here is we are taking longer than usual to get from one checkpoint to another. That is the second letter in the DECIDE model is E as in Echo, or what we should do next in the DECIDE model. That means to estimate the time to react. During this step, we recalculate our ground speed, look at our fuel, recalculate our fuel burn, and we go from there. The next letter in the DECIDE model, or the next step we should do, is C as in Charlie, and that means choose a course of action. So after we recalculated ground speed, after we've recalculated fuel burn, the next thing we should do is ask ourselves, what is the next thing we should do? Should we land at the nearest airport if we're low on fuel? Should we keep going, or should we just turn around? That all depends on the situation you're at. If, let's say, you're 50 miles away from the airport that you want to go to, but you still have half a tank of fuel left, and I think that's still a lot of fuel left to go to the destination airport. Then, personally, I would go. But if we're a quarter tank of fuel left, I would probably divert to the closest airport that has fuel, or just go to the closest airport just to be safe, even if it has no fuel. I'd rather be safe than sorry. And all of the stuff I just said earlier kind of ties in with the next letter in the DECIDE model, which is I, as in India, which means identify the solutions. So the pilot formulates a plan that will take him or her to the objective. And like I said, it all depends on the situation you're at. Do you have enough fuel to make it to your destination, or are you low on fuel? Would you divert to another airport? What I said earlier ties into the identify in the DECIDE model. Now, the next letter after I in the DECIDE model is D as in Delta, or and that stands for do the necessary actions. And once the pilot has identified the best solution for the best outcome for the safety of the pilots and the passengers, or just themselves in general, the pilot will do that solution. Now, the last step, or the last letter in the DECIDE model, is E as in Echo, and that last step stands for evaluate. So after implementing a solution, the pilot evaluates the decision to see if it was the correct decision. And it is important during the whole flight, during the remainder of the flight, that the pilot continues to evaluate the outcome of the decision to ensure that he or she chose the right solution for it.